What is up, guys? This is episode 12 of the Big Ben Strongcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about the only four things that you need to make progress in any lift. All right, so this is coming at it from a lens brought to life by StrongFit. They call it the movement box or the performance box, um, and we can essentially look at four different ways to get better at a movement. So, first way to get better, you just need to increase your skill in the movement. So, that could be paying more attention to the movement while you're doing it. That could be upping the frequency of times that you are doing this movement. Um, in general, just getting better at the movement through skill work and no other way. All right, so that's step one. Another step that you can do to get better at a movement is to just get bigger. All right, so say your bench press is 135 pounds, but you also weigh 135 pounds. If you get your body weight up to 155 pounds and all of that is in your chest, you are going to get a bigger bench press, guaranteed. You didn't even have to get better at the movement. You didn't have to, do any real work on it. If you just get bigger, your bench press gets better. So that would be just adding more muscle. So the next step is increasing your fight response. All right, so a lot of the time when especially with squats or deadlifts, when you walk out a bar, there's this fear, that you got 400 pounds crushing down on your back. You are rightfully so a little bit afraid of the weight. The problem with that is any amount of fear is going to get in the way of you going all out. Right? There's no fear when you go for a 50% squat, which is why you can attack it and you can move it really, really fast. But when you start to get up to those PRs, if you have any amount of fear, that's going to get in the way of you actually hitting the lift. So one of the things that you can do to increase your ability to get better at this is put yourself in that situation more often so you know what it feels like. Right? So we have to find that slight fear in a lift. When you're unracking the bar and your palms are a little bit sweaty when you go to pick it up, that's kind of where you're looking. That's how you need to get your body, your mind to before you can really call it a good way to increase your fight response for a movement. People that do this really, really well, John Bros, squat every day, Corey Gregory, yeah, they have gotten the increasing your fight response down to a T, down to a science, because every single one of their lifters can go in twice a day, 7 days a week, and squat to a maximum, and they're not even afraid of weights anymore. And why should they be? They've taken, if their PR is 500, they've taken 405 900 times in the past 900 days or so without even having to worry about it. They've done it in so many different variations. They paused it. They've done all that. It's not even a challenge. So just increasing your fight response, increasing your ability to attack the weight with no fear. That is one of the easier ways, I would say, to get better at a movement. And then the last thing, and this one kind of leads into a different topic, but the last way to improve a movement, find a weak point. All right, so say in your squat, your weak point on the lift is your hamstrings. What you have to be able to do is increase your fight response in that specific muscle. All right, and so this is a tricky one. A really good way to make sure that you have a fight response in a specific muscle is that you should be able to squeeze it and flex it so hard that it cramps. Now, a lot of people maybe didn't come from this like bodybuilding mind muscle connection, don't really have this background of understanding the importance of just being able to flex a muscle, right? And what that can do for your actual performance. A really interesting thing that I've noticed with our weightlifting team is anytime that we go into a really heavy focus on just performance, meaning we're snatching and clean and jerking heavy in some form or fashion every single day leading up to a competition. Obviously, when we're doing that, we are not really trying to push the bodybuilding movements. We're not doing the lower stress stuff. We want them to be prepared for the challenge that they have of the snatch and clean and jerk. So when we do that, we come out of it and they all have a lower mind muscle connection to different areas depending on the person. So most of them, when we start off, we do a lot of focus of bodybuilding stuff, general physical preparedness stuff. And along with that, we focus on being able to flex muscles, kind of learning a little bit of posing like bodybuilders do. And we notice that we start the cycle where we're going high focus on that, and we end the cycle and that all goes away. They all lose that ability. I don't know what this really does to people long term, but my theory is that these are muscles that are not getting enough attention, and so they kind of, I know it's not a hot topic to say they shut off, because I don't think it works like a light switch, but over time they become atrophied. We'll give it that. So we can improve a movement by increasing the muscles that don't seem to have a high fight response and increasing their fight response. So that could first look like just learning how to flex it. So one muscle that a lot of people don't really know how to flex is their trap, right? That doesn't mean shrugging your shoulder up, but you want to flex the shoulder. And when you see that, you can see the trap move up and around to the front of the shoulder, right? It doesn't actually pull their shoulder up to their ear. So give that a try if you're at home. Try and flex your trap really, really hard and see if you can do that. And if you can't, that means that muscle does not have a high fight response compared to something like your quad. A lot of weightlifters and a lot of athletes have really strong quads, so you can flex them. You could see that muscle like contract, and if you flex it hard enough, you could probably get it to cramp. Excuse me. Same thing with your lats. A lot of athletes can get their lower lats to cramp if they work hard enough. We want to be able to do that with every single muscle in our body, as that is going to help us be a little bit more of an effective weight mover, right? So recapping here, we need to increase the skill in the movement, and that can just be done by frequency, right? Just doing the movement more often. We need to get bigger. That's one of the best ways to really do it easily, but if you just get bigger in a movement, does that mean that you actually got better? I don't know. You get to come up with that decision. We can increase our fight response for a movement. So that is more of a mental fight response than a physical fight response. Basically just preparing ourselves for being able to max out and not be afraid of it. Last thing is increasing our fight response and weak muscles that support the movement. All right, guys, give that a try. If you have any questions about it, I know it's kind of a lot, shoot me a message and I'll be able to help you out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Big Ben Strength and Conditioning and on YouTube at Big Ben Strength and Conditioning. All right, take it easy. Bye.